That's all it's about.
Good evening, all. Welcome back to DAS TV. Special guest here today, obviously featuring Dave, LFC Chats. Pleasure to get you on, Dave. And Dave's smiling behind everything. And same as we said, we have a big smile. The news has just come in. Obviously, Spurs have won at home. Their new stadium was alive and kicking today. The intensity, the energy, and obviously they kept a clean sheet, got the 3 points. And I'm not going to say it was a smash and grab because I was very impressed with today. And City didn't like it being put up to them, didn't they? Not Dave?
No. I'll tell you what. I knew, of the few results I knew this weekend, I actually knew Brentford had beat Arsenal. That wasn't a surprise. Arsenal are shite.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Spurs have a great record against City. Just look at it. In the last 6-7 seasons, even in they knocked them out of Champions League as well.
Champions League, yeah.
I mean, I know they've no Kane today. I know there's a bit of an iffy type thing going on, but he might actually end up at City or not. He might look at it and go, actually, I want to stay at Spurs. But Son would have won the goal. What a goal, Son.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen.
Goal, Son.
Well, I mean, it's a good start. It's a great start for us. We won 3-0 yesterday. You'd probably say the same. Chelsea would say the same, but great when you see City losing. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, it did. It made the day. To be honest with you, I didn't expect that. And I thought with the whole hype around Grealish, with City, with the attacking powers they have, with the strength and depth, you expect at least them to score today. So it was great to see. And it just shows individuals don't make a team. Something that is probably Liverpool's biggest strength. I've always thought that unity, togetherness, that squad harmony. Liverpool just perform and have it to perfection a lot more than anybody else. And obviously 3 goals yesterday, 3 points, clean sheet. Impressed with that, Dave. Was comfortable, I thought. Would you agree?
I'll tell you what, the first game of the season is always you just don't know what to expect, right? Let's be real. I mean, we had a great preseason. We had a fantastic, one of the best preseasons actually Liverpool have had in a long time. Never mind Klopp. It's one of the best free flowing. Like they're playing badminton competitions. Everyone looked happy. Everyone was smiling. There was no injuries. You'd Salah, Mane getting a full pre-season into them. Everyone looked ready, buzzing, ready to roll. And that was a good sign for Liverpool. You could see Klopp after the interviews and all the pre-season games. He was happy. He knew this pre-season was going well. But then to translate it onto the pitch for the big game against Norwich at Carrow Road, who just got promoted and had a point to prove in the front of their fans.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like the Canaries were singing. Delia Smith was on the pitch throwing pies at people at half time. She was throwing scones at people. So they had to deal with that as well. So for me, 3-0, it was a very, very professional performance, and I am happy. I
was very comfortable. I don't think we got out second, third gear. I think it was real one of those games. Let's get to Norwich. We've a couple of lads like Thiago, Hendo coming back. Let's not obviously get any more injuries. With Robbo already being out, Simicast, very professional, as you said. Who impressed you the most yesterday?
2 or 3 players, actually. I thought Simicast, his first real start for us. We needed a filler for Robbo. Just because he's going to probably be missing for the Burnley and Chelsea game. I don't think he'd be back after the international break, to be fair. I don't think he'd want to rush him back anyway. I mean, if Simicast is going to do the job, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
we knew he had the potential, but we just didn't see it. We didn't see it, Daz.
Yeah, no, we didn't. So, and I seen a stat yesterday. He's only played 6 minutes of Premier League football before yesterday. So that was the first 90 minutes. So big pressure, not easy for him. We knew he was a good player coming in Olympiacos. We seen him. That famous game, Olympiacos and Wolves, where he outplayed Traore when Traore was kind of at his peak. There was talking going for 60, 70 million. He comes into Liverpool and just doesn't get a sniff. He's not going to get ahead of Robbo. But yesterday, he was impressive enough for his first start and first game of the season away at Norwich. The fans were loud, that they'd only come up. In many ways, they'd nothing to lose. So all the pressure was on Liverpool to return of Virgil. But as you said, it was very professional. Jota takes his goal, get a bit of luck with it, and then we were comfortable. And we needed probably the second at half time, but it was early enough second half. Then Firmino, Salah, 2 assists, a goal. He's on fire, isn't he? What a player! 3 goals away from 100 Premier League goals as well.
No, two goals.
2 was 98.
98.
Goals,
no, listen. Mo Salah, as I said to you earlier, I follow Liverpool since mid-80s, and I'm going to tell you right now, Mo Salah, the king of Egypt, is up there with the best of them. I mean, he is. He just is. The stats speak for themselves, or whatever you want to say. He's clean off the pitch. He's a lovely family man. There's no messing with him. Everything's perfect. He's a perfectionist. Have you seen him playing that badminton competition? He wanted to win that. He's the type of guy who wants to win everything. He's the winning mentality. This guy will be one of the best players to play for Liverpool. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And Kev O'Sullivan there says a Trent, Matip, Salah were the standout for me. Big shout out there to Kev. Thanks for coming in the comments. Yeah, Trent I thought was really good, dominates the game from that fullback position. But I think going forward, yesterday he was exceptional. Matip again, the type of player can be very frustrating with Matip because he'd missed 6 months of football. Come in and then be man the match. He's just so good, so cool there, especially with Virg. And they're probably our more experienced centre backs and probably our best partnership heading on that day.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did 2 pods midweek and I said Matip VVD is the partnership.
Right.
That's just the way I called it. It's going to be the way it is. I mean, it is. I mean, you've got the experience. You've got everything. They suit each other. Let's be real. They're 2 big fellas.
Yeah,
they suit each other. It's nice to have Kanate there. It's nice to have Gomez there.
Phillips. Yeah.
Well, Nat Phillips could go. To be honest, I'd keep him for the very reason we've had such a bloody injury. We cannot let that happen again. You're only 2 centre halves from getting injured again to being So I'd actually keep him and maybe sell him in January if that's possible, because I know Ben Davies has gone to Sheffield United on loan.
That's season long loan. Thrown that in there, the hologram gone out on loan. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing by him because he was a good championship experienced player. He came into Liverpool and I think we all expected him to play more the more he did, even with Kabak coming in because of the crisis we had. But Jurgen always went more for Henderson, Fabinho there. And I don't know whether it was a fitness issue or something to do with attitude. We just never got a game, never any minutes, only in pre-season friendly. So it's no surprise though, is it? He's gone.
He needs to play football. You know what I mean? He wants to. He doesn't want to be in the basement for fucking another season. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah,
he wants to play football, Daz. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and he deserves to be. I mean, he's he's a championship experienced player. He was at Preston for a couple of seasons. Would have been tough going there. So he's proven his worth even to be mentioned with Liverpool. Never mind, I've got to them. Let's hope Salah signs a new contract. I think that's gonna happen.
I say next week, actually.
Yeah, he's the next I know in line, and hopefully there's no complications. But I don't expect it. I think, look, as I said, he's momentous, he's majestic, he's Maois, he's just incredible and looks after himself so well. Really, I think not only that, I've seen it. I don't know how many assists he got. You know off the top of your head, Dave, but he's incredible amount of assists. I think that was just nearly 130 goals.
It's just. As I said, it's ridiculous. It's Guinness Book of Records stuff for Liverpool, as in the football terms I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I've lost count of it. He got 2 assists yesterday, got a goal, could have had another goal. I mean, I don't even think of the assist with Salah. It's all about goals for him. It's all about goals. You know yourself.
Yeah,
if he gets 3 assists in a game, he's not happy. Let's be real. He wants to score.
Yeah,
he wants goals.
And I noticed something yesterday that we didn't see a lot of last season. Salah and Mane were linking up a lot. There was this talk of they might have fell out, that they're a bit greedy when it comes. The one wants to outscore the other. Yesterday they were really good. They interacted a lot. There was good communication. And you seen at the end Salah could have gotten a goal, but he tries to give it into Mane and it just doesn't work out. And you could see he was probably thinking, if I had got that, I would have got the 2nd or 4th of the game. So that's good signs there. There's good harmony there between them, isn't there? Like, I think that was all rubbish.
There was always good harmony. That was just bleeding paper bullshit talk. Let's be real. I mean, they've had a great pre-season together today. There's no issues between Mane and Salah. That was blown up. There was there's 1 or 2 issues. Like being in school and 2 lads in the same class. You might have a bit of an issue, and then you have a kick around in the yard. Let's be, come on. I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think if there was any issues there, they wouldn't be in the team. Klopp wouldn't be starting them, and it's nothing that they can't sort out between them. I was very, I suppose now, obviously yesterday we were impressive. It was 3-0, as I said. There was 3 goals, clean sheet, 3 points more importantly. Touching a bit on today, Kev O'Sullivan says there, you can see City's problems from last season didn't go away, wide open to the counter and so slow in the build-up. Kane doesn't fix that. Do you agree with that?
Well, Kane's guaranteed 20, 25 goals. He'll give them an edge. But to be honest, I don't care what City do. I just care what Liverpool do. I don't care what anybody does. For me, it's Liverpool. It's what Liverpool do for me. We've got the squad there. Even if we don't bring anyone in, Daz, which I think we still have a chance to bring in maybe one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think it'd be more than that. No, maybe two, but it depends on who goes out. If Origi was to go, it looks like Shaq's gonna go. There's talk now. Yeah,
there's another bid coming in from him. But if he was to go and Origi to go, I'd say if they go, they're obviously off the books, bringing a bit more cash. I think we could go with 1 or 2. And I'd say, look, we've someone lined up. There's just Klopp is playing his cards close to his chest since that whole Van Dijk thing. You know, it's very hard to predict who are going to go. Well, we're speculating with everybody and anybody, and even the journalists, you know, they don't know. Reporters are just kind of linking us with anyone and everyone because they're not being told that. And so, yes, Marshall, big shout out to you as well. Big up to Daz TV. Spurs should slap City. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I'm not bothered though. Like I agree with Dave. I'm not bothered about Chelsea. You know, I just think we've 2 games coming up. Then there's an international break, Dave. We've 2 home games. Burnley, who beat us last season at home, and Chelsea beat us last season at home. But I'm not going to go into last season. It was obviously an awful season when you look at those 6 games at home that we lost, broke our own record, didn't score in any of them. Are you confident with 2 wins out of these next 2? And it's a good start, isn't it, going into those 2 home ones?
Yeah, well, I'd be confident again. Burnley are one of these bogey teams, especially at Anfield, actually. We have a terrible record at Anfield against them. But I'd be confident. I think Brighton beat them yesterday, Burnley. They're not the same team. I think they'll struggle this year. Us at Anfield with a home crowd for the first, a proper crowd, like not a pre-season friendly. Yeah. I can't see anything other than the Liverpool win. He's the likes of Thiago, Henderson to come back in. You know,
we've hit the ground running from last season, haven't we? Like those 10 games last season, I think we won 8 out of them, and we are keeping clean sheets and that towards the end. We went away to Burnley, then home to Palace with the fans. I think you can see what kind of, even though we're not playing brilliant, but we don't need to. And then we've the likes of Thiago, Henderson coming back. It's going to give us more options. Firmino on the bench yesterday. The midfield was a little bit, I suppose, when you look at Milner, Ox, Keita, there might have been a lot of people asking questions at the start, but I was a little bit apprehensive about it. I was a bit nervous, excited, and probably because how a Ox Naby Keita do. But I was excited to see Keita. Did he do much for you yesterday?
Keita did everything he needed to do and did it quietly, which is sometimes a good thing. I mean, like, we're not talking about making a mistake or making a stupid. You know, he did everything quietly, and I gave Keita, I think, a 7 out of 10. I think he was a nice 7. But, I mean, he did a job. For Keita, for me, is to stay on the bloody pitch and be fit.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can get a run of games out of Keita, he'll just get better and better and better. The confidence will get there. I think Ox probably was off his game, probably the worst out of 11 yesterday, starting 11. Milner's Milner. I mean, you know, Milner's like a bottle of Ribena. He won't go off in the fridge. I mean, Milner's top of the range. He's just, Milner is 100%, man. But to be honest, we're still waiting on Thiago and Henderson. Finners, how are you, Finners? And of course, I know Finners as well. And of course, we still have Fabinho in there. I mean, Fabinho came on late as well, so it's going to be a different midfield. It's going to be a different midfield.
It was great to see him and Firmino coming on. And do you think Firmino, we get his goal yesterday, he's very lively, he was energetic, he was pressing. Do you think we'll see a better Firmino this year? I don't think we can see a worse one though, can we? But he seems to have that bit of spark back towards the end of last season, particularly where at Old Trafford he was causing havoc. Yeah. He's the type of player, he's not going to get us a lot of goals, especially at Anfield for whatever reason. He just doesn't get them. Dean yesterday, the record, he's 4 Anfield goals, 15 away from home in the league. But it's more to that. He's part of that system, isn't he, Bobby? And he'll kick on this season, won't he? Surely, I think we'll see a better version of him.
Do you know what it is with Bobby? He's cog. He's like a cog in a wheel. He's more important as being in those gear changes, you know, being there. His goals are a bonus type of thing. Let's be real. Mane, Salah, you and Jota would be probably the boys that are going to get the most goals. Well, Salah's definitely. But I mean, if he can chip in with maybe 10, 15 goals, I mean, that'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? I mean, he got one yesterday. He's only on the pitch, 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
25
you know
minutes.
What I mean?
Yeah, spot on. Takes his goal well. You can
see
he's celebrating well with Virgil. Him and Virgil there, it's in the thumbnail. But he's look, he's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable servant. What I love about Bobby is, and I've said this, even at his worst times, he just gets on with it. He's always available, makes himself fit. He's always willing to do the right thing, and he just doesn't shy away from it. He's not the type of player that when he goes through a bad dip in form, he's out injured or he's inconsistent. He'll always give everything. You know, he's heart and a slave. And there's times where he was captain last season, and people are critical of that. You know what I mean? Saying he's not a leader, but look, Klopp is no fool. He's not going to have these players leading Liverpool, a team that, you know, when they need leaders most, because there was times last season where we struggled with a lot of players out injured, that he's just going to have someone as captain for the sake of it. So he's like a son, really, to Klopp, isn't he? Because you can always see, there was times last season where I was a bit frustrated. Jota needs to come in, Bobby needs to go out, and he just kept picking him. But he's obviously proven his worth to Jurgen, you know what I mean, around the place and that training, and obviously in performances that he's worth starting and getting in ahead of them.
Well, he's integral to the system that Klopp likes playing. So if you have a on-fire Bobby, I mean, it makes the whole front three tick, really, doesn't it? So for Klopp, who is a man manager, really, he's the guy. He's like a father figure to Liverpool, really, and they're his kids or a school teacher, whatever you want to say. That's the way he wants to keep the class happy. So that's another reason why we can tip on it later, but why I don't think there would be much coming in, for the very fact that you're bringing a guy into a class late and the school starting next week. You don't want to disrupt. You don't want to disrupt the classroom. So Klopp, he likes a tight unit. He even said yesterday after it, I'm happy with what I've got. Obviously, hopefully no injuries. But if everybody stays fit, Daz, I think we'll be okay. But
I think so. I agree.
Fitness is key for me.
Yeah. It is having that availability, because our starting 11 is the best in the business and in the league, I think. But we know over 38 games in the campaign, particularly as well the Champions League, domestic cups, it's not about that. It is about using those 15, 16, 17 players a team. But I think with 14 or 15 really good options in the team, I think it goes beyond the starting 11. But I understand fans like. They want that extra 2 players. I'd love to have an extra midfielder and forward, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to unsettle somebody, bring somebody in on big wages, and then you're facing problems, because I associate Liverpool mainly with, as I said, that harmony, but that togetherness, that never give up, that kind of like it's like, it goes back to the quote, Jurgen Klopp doesn't buy superstars, he makes them. So that's all a part of you have to prove your worth all the time. You know what I mean? And I believe that Klopp has it down to a T. There's not people coming in on big wages, because Van Dijk's only gotten a new contract. Alisson, if someone comes in on a massive wage who is only coming in and isn't going to be guaranteed to get in the start 11 unless he's a war beater, which there isn't many out there that will, you can see it could cause a bit of a rift in the camp, and that wouldn't be good. So you have to admire Klopp and a stance. You've seen him recently on Sky, how he just doesn't care. He just says what he says and what he believes, and it doesn't matter if there's large sections of the fans thinking different or reporters, because it's constantly being asked, where's the Genie replacement and are you going to sign anyone? Do you know what I mean? But you have to admire the stance on it.
Listen, I'd be on Twitter a lot because of this thing, and I'd be on a few other Instagrams. So the amount in the last, say, 2 months, the craziness that's going. We brought in Ibrahim Kanat, who's going to be a proper centre-half, let's be real.
One class, I think. Honestly, he's only turned 22.
He's going to be top. He's a fucking monster, let's be real.
He is.
That fills in that nice little gap for centre halves. Van Dijk's back, Gomez back, Matip on his day is just, if he can stay fit, is going to be there. We've Reece Williams, who might go out on loan, is a possibility. Ben Davies is going out on loan, of course, and Phillips is still there. I think we might keep him. I know there's a few clubs interested, Burnley and West Ham, maybe even Southampton, because he got rid of Vestergaard. There's a possibility there. But I think for Liverpool, I don't really care what other teams do, as I said to you earlier on. It's about us as a unit. And this is the way Klopp thinks. This is exactly the way he thinks. We're a unit. We're the team. We've won the Premier League. We've won the European Cup. We've won the Super Cup, Club World Cup. We've done it all with basically the same players. Okay, Genie's gone. And that's a big gap to fill, considering he played nearly 4,000 minutes last year, which was the highest amount of minutes for any Liverpool player. But he nearly played every game.
That's pretty consistent as well, wasn't he?
And he was never injured. Never injured. So what do you do there? Now, that's the only real issue for me. We sorted the centre-half area. The forwards look on fire. Jota came on. First game back. Bang.
Fresh, sharp.
Salah. Salah's going to be Salah, let's be real. And Mane is going to have a big season. Mane was missing last year. If Mane even turns up for 50% of the bloody games, there you go.
Yeah, no, Mane was incredible. And he was kind of, last season, he openly admitted it was a poor season from him. But going back to that point, Dave, about the midfield, I totally agree with you. So it's mad how much I feel sense you're talking there. I think Curtis Jones, last season, I think we kind of forget he had a really good season. I remember being on a stream and saying no matter what happens this season, because at the time it looked like we were going to struggle, to be honest, to get top 4. Curtis Jones is one big thing that comes out and a big positive. I think he's very good and he's a bit underestimated. Harvey Elliott only turned 18. He's played 41 games at Blackburn, has got his couple of goals, assists, done really well, because championship level's tough as well, you know what I mean? He's done brilliant and deserves his chance. And we know the big affiliation, the tattoo he got about Liverpool and his whole about the Hillsborough campaign. So he, like these two lads and Naby Keita coming in, and fans hate to hear that, but they,
like new signings
like that, Naby Keita particularly, because he's been non-existent. I mean, Naby Keita, I think there was a stat a while ago where Alonso made more assists in one season than Naby's made in 3. So that's like, it has to be like a new sign. Surely if he comes back and he's available, just, he's there.
I think Naby I think Naby's only involved in 52 games in 3 seasons. 52 in 3 seasons from Leipzig when he came in Leipzig. I mean, that's not good enough. And the amount of games Liverpool play.
I to be honest with you, it was times last season where I thought it was it from, it was over. So obviously Jurgen still trusts him, and they've had a conversation, and apparently he's went vegan on his diet and all this to help him through injury. So look, if it works this time, then obviously it's the best thing they've done. Marshall Aoubu think he is the best replacement for Gini 208. This is obviously about Sanchez. What would your thoughts be on Renato Sanchez? Because news broke earlier, we were interested, but now he's got an injury, and the chances are it's not going to happen.
To be honest, Dad, I don't want to put thing on it. I can't see. The more I think about it, the less I see coming in. I really do, unless there's an injury in the next 2 weeks. I don't see anybody coming in. Even though I said it in podcast, there could be 1 or 2. Definitely going to be 1 or 2. The way Klopp's talking the last week has really dampened down on anybody coming. I think he's happy with the bloody group.
Yeah. And
I think he's happy with the group. Now, would I like to see someone coming in is different than will someone come in? Of course, I'd like a midfielder, as you said, someone to replace Gini, and you can never have enough attackers in your team. Look at United. To United have about 10 attackers. It's always good to have someone there. Like Origi for me is probably past that at this stage. I think for Liverpool in the next 2 weeks, it depends who leaves. If the likes of Origi leave and Shaqiri leave, I think we bring in somebody.
Bring in one at least
to replace those 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's dependent on what goes to what comes in for Liverpool. That's what I think.
Ali there saying he thinks it will be Saul and Harvey Barnes. I think Saul Niguez, really good player, always available.
Huge money. Huge.
Big wages.
See his wages? Do you see his wages? $250,000 or more, after tax. It's not going to happen. That would blow open the whole fucking wage structure for Liverpool. Harvey Barnes as well won't happen, and I'll tell you why. Because he's English. He'd be about 80 million or something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And look, I mean, both really good players and would fit the system. I think even Madison would probably be better, wouldn't he, than Barnes? But yeah, look, I don't. You could be right there. It's a good point. Like Jurgen probably has whoever he's lined up, and is he going to make a move now? Could it be January? He's probably waiting to see. And then again, like we're all talking about Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones probably not playing as much as we expect. Maybe they are going to be. Maybe there's just something Jurgen says or knows that we don't know. And obviously that's going to be more true than what we think. But we'll just wait and see what happens. Either way, I mean, yesterday was a really good start, and it could be worse, couldn't it? It could be City today, losing, not scoring. And they didn't like when I was put up to them. They really didn't. But look, there's 37 games to go.
Look, the only thing is the first game in. You don't like losing your first game. It's not a good start, let's be real. But remember, City started slow last year. They don't they don't usually slow. And I mean, they blew away with it. So, as I said earlier, I'm not saying I don't care what anybody else does. You keep an eye on them, of course. You watch your enemies. Keep your enemies close to you, is the famous saying. But I think it's for me and for Klopp and for the team and for the staff. All they really are saying is we're not even thinking about Chelsea. It's Burnley next week at Anfield, 12:30. We're only thinking it's game by game by game. What squad's ready for that game? Who can I play in that? That's all I'm even thinking about, and that's all Klopp I'd say is thinking about.
Yeah. And obviously, we're only a game into it, Dave. And look, I hate sometimes answering this, but last and we will have you on. What would a good season be to you this season if we don't bring on anybody now? Do you think a good season would be if we are thereabouts at the end of the season in the league, in the Champions League? So obviously, we do well in Europe, do well in the league, and win a cup. Would that be a good season? Or are you aiming higher now after obviously winning that first game? It's a good question, though, because...
Well, it's a good question, but the domestic cups, as you know, and you know the history of Klopp, he's there since October 15. Let's be fair, he doesn't rate the cups. He's not going to go strong in the cups. It's just not going to happen. So, we might go far in it with what he has, and the longer you get through maybe to a semi, you play a strong team, but I'm not... League Cup, FA Cup have lost their lustre with me, and they've lost their lustre in the last 10 years, let's be real, except Man City. They seem to love them. But the Champions League, I think... or in pot 2, I think Liverpool, obviously we love the Champions League. We know all about the history of Liverpool in Europe. I think we'll have a good season this year. I mean, you look at it last year, and coronavirus, we're still in a pandemic, by the way, and we got beat by Atletico Madrid. But if you watch that game, we absolutely fucking washed the floor. We should have won that. We should have won that game 3 or 4-0. We didn't win it. We only scored, it was 1-0, and then of course they got us an extra time. And there's no way goals next year as well, which is another one to watch in the Champions League. But in the league, I still think. I mean, United have come on strong. They did a great win yesterday. It was a poor Leeds performance defensively.
Rafinha was awful. You know, and I
Terrible,
mean,
terrible.
and Bielsa, I mean, he has a philosophy, but yesterday, I mean, he didn't learn it the last time. You know, sometimes you've just you turn up for different games, you set up
Yeah,
differently, and like they were awful late yesterday, very
yeah,
very poor. You know, and that's not taking
yeah,
away. United were great, scored 5 goals first
yeah,
game, done what they had to do. But I mean, they must have been really surprised by the Leeds how they turned up. And Rafinha, I
yeah,
think someone said yesterday in WhatsApp to me, he's definitely devalued after just that game. He was awful
yeah.
yesterday, no excuses. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it's as I just say, it's 90 minutes. There's what 37 games left, so
Yeah, it's a
you
long,
can
long
turn
way.
you can turn it around. I think United will be better this season. I think Chelsea be good. They're European champions, of course. Ourselves and City. I think that's your top four there, even again this
Yeah.
year. To be fair, and what would be a good season for Liverpool? Um, I think we can win the league. I think we need a few things to go right for us. We need to keep injury free in key areas, as in the spine of the team at critical times. I think it's there for us. We got to just do our own thing, play our game, keep fit, and we can win it. Will we win it? Well, I'll tell you next May. But I think
No,
we'll certainly be in the mix. That's for me
yeah.
to be in the mix at the close end of the season in the Champions League as well and the league.
Yeah.
And that'd be good. That'd be good enough for me, Daz, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a conversation that's more realistic around Christmas time, isn't it? Where what happens and
Exactly.
who does what. And
It's too
at the
early.
moment, it's
Too early.
way too early because you've seen today City being beaten. Now City dropped another couple of points. I think they have Norwich at home next week and then home to Arsenal. Arsenal could, it wouldn't surprise you if Arsenal turned up against them, you know, because
Arsenal have a good record against them as well.
Yeah, so it's you just never know, you know, but that they'll be disappointed by that today. But what a lot of teams I think will look at today is get in City's faces, you know, just go at them. And then with fans back now, like when City and that, like Anfield last season, they turned us over. They're not going to do that when it's a full house there, you know what I mean? And look, we just an awful season last season. Marshall Ayub says United ain't winning a trophy with all for sure. And again, I touch on that. I think United, as good as they are and whatever, like, I mean, I thought our best chance was against Villarreal. You know, Villarreal never won a trophy. And they still went out. So I think Ole is a bit naive, and I don't expect like big things from United. I really don't. I think they'll be better. Obviously, they're back in the Champions League, and that they will be better than last season. But I think also will the other teams. But I think that's one to watch. You know, it wasn't so long ago. A lot of people wanted Ole out. There was talk of his job going and that, and he did turn things around. He seems to do that all the time. But how sustainable is it?
Well, it's great for us because I mean, I'm saying I don't rate him as a top manager.
Yeah,
there's Laser. He's actually look. He's not Klopp. He's not Pep. He's not Tuchel. You know, he's not that top level. He's not that top level.
He's a bit naive.
But I mean, he's naive a little bit tactically and all that type of thing. He's naive. He's a really good squad of players. Let's be real. I don't like United. I'm sure you don't like them too. But he's a really good setup there. You know, I mean, Old Trafford's a hard place to go. Let's be real. But will they win the league? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I can't see them. To be honest, I can't even see them finishing above Liverpool or City. They might finish third, but will he finish above Liverpool or City? I don't. If Liverpool, look, we only 5 or 6 points behind him. He won the worst seasons we've had on the clock last season.
Were awful. Yeah,
we were all over the shop, and United were raving that they won the best seasons ever. We were right up their arse. You know what I mean? So, listen. As I said to you earlier, I only care what Liverpool do. We do our job. We'll be all right.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you, and I think we will. And look, I think this season it's a fresh start for a lot of players, Mane, players like that didn't turn up last season. Even Thiago towards the end was good, so it's going to be great to see a lot of these. I'm excited to see that midfield of Fabinho, Hendo, and Thiago. I think that'll be a great midfield, and then obviously you have 3 of the 4 lads up front. Michael Balls and they're mad having all them quality players and leaving Ole in charge. Klopp will make the league with that team. Mitchell, totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. And we were just touching on that there. And then, yes, Ali lays obviously back to Ali A. But Dave, we'll wrap it up. Dave's on another pod at 7:30, isn't it, Dave?
No panic. No panic. I'm on with Dominic Rich FC, big Manchester City fan. So that should be interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, he won't be happy. And you know what? Like, it's mad because all the hundreds of millions they're spending and like losing today, that will have hurt them, you know. But it's like, no, I don't want to keep talking about United, but back to United, they're probably no better now after all the hundreds of millions he spent than the day David Moyes come in. They're probably not. You know, you could say they're better attackers and all that, but managerial, like Ole is limited experience. maybe they will win something, but we'll see. But it doesn't matter. But we need. So you're confident of finishing this month before the international break? 9 points, you think? 3 against Burnley, 3 against Chelsea.
Well, I'd be confident against Burnley. I'd be a good record. I know Chelsea beat us there last year, but we were all over the shop. I'm not. Last year is discounted, except for the last 10 games. Let's be real. We'd Reece Williams still. We'd Fabinho and Henderson playing centre half. We were all over the bleeding shop. So
with 20 odd centre back pairs, that was madness. And I think Hendo and Nat Phillips at one stage were the most consistent. They played 3 games of centre back together. So, if you're going to be chopping and changing centre backs like that, you're asking for trouble. And then obviously the spine the team. We had Alisson out for a long time. Yeah. We'd Fabinho, we'd Hendo, then we had them at centre back. It was just a mess,
Jota at the wrong time. Gomez and Van Dijk within 2-3 weeks of each other. Jota when he was when he was on fire, Jota was on fire, and he just got injured. Bang, and just wasn't the same when he came back. So for me, listen, as I said to you earlier, the key for Liverpool is fitness and injuries. If we can stay injury free, the spine of the team, we'd be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Dave, for coming on today. It's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Hopefully, we're on to a few more in the near future. And thanks to everybody for like and subscribe. Remember to subscribe. I'm sure most of you already have to Dave's LFC chats. And thanks for dropping in the comments. And we're all happy. It's a Sunday fun day. Well, even today with Spurs after earning the Tottenham earned their Spurs. So, and Liverpool won. So it's a great start. So thanks, Dave. And we get you on again soon, mate. Thank you. Thanks to everybody else tuning in.
Cheers, guys. Stay safe.
Cheers. Thank you. Stay safe.